Be sending the runners off first, and the walkers will be second because it doesn't work the other way around. I'd like to take an opportunity here to first introduce, we've got a few speeches here, Dave D'Entremont from the Spring Sprint Committee, the organizer, great organizer of today's event, works very hard year-round to make this happen. So let's give a big round of applause for Davey.
Thank you. As Freddie Mac mentioned, my name is Dave D'Entremont, and I'm the chairperson. You do have to eat this mic.
Daddy! You don't need a mic, Dave.
No, yeah. And I'd like to congratulate everybody on the astounding job fundraising this year. It's an amazing accomplishment and one that amazes me every year, with this year being no exception. 10 years. It's hard to imagine. That took long. If someone had told me that I'd be doing this 10 years later, I would have said they're crazy. And actually, the person who made me start this is behind me, Ben Sewell. He still says I'm crazy, so 10 years. A lot of things changed in 10 years. I think the grand total of kids between everybody in my committee when we started was 2, and I believe now the number is 17. So things change over 10 years. Does anybody remember the band Outkast? They were the #1 band 10 years ago. So everybody remember Hey Ya? I wonder what happened to those guys, because I'm not sure, but I know what happened to the Fredericton Spring Sprint. We're still going strong and growing. Oh, my son here. Everyone here today should be proud of being here and trying to make a difference with us. It's not only the monetary piece of this event, but also the message of the Brain Tumor Foundation and what they offer. Information, support, financial assistance, and the list go on. These things are all funded through events just like this. And my daughter's here. Just like having the information that the Brain Tumor Foundation of Canada even exists out there is important, as many people are diagnosed and feel truly alone with no one to turn, no place to ask questions, and no place to find out what to expect. I was that person once. And that's why I feel the support group is so important. I urge everyone looking for answers or wanting to ask questions to please come out. There's a table in the main building, and Brenda Garner from our support group is there, and she'll be able to help you out and set you up, let you know when our support group meets every second Tuesday of the month. It's Stan Cassidy. As I stated earlier, this could not have been possible with my phenomenal committee and great efforts by so many. Personally for me, there's nothing more humbling than seeing someone using their own time, spending their own money, putting their pride on and name on the line for my cause. I know it's a shared cause, that's why they do it, but for me, they're doing it for me. This is why I'm forever grateful. This was exemplified twice in the past weekend. First was the fundraiser in McAdam last Saturday in memory of Davey Bell, a founding member of the support group and a longtime member of the Spring Sprint. Davey left us last fall, but he's not forgotten. They raised over $8,300 last weekend in McAdam in memory of Davey. And they generally donated all the money to the Sprint. I truly thank Don and Ron Doherty for their efforts, and as well as Davey's wife Maureen and Davey's family for putting on such a great event. The second person I have to point out is Roger Jean. His wife Kelly's a survivor. She spoke here last year, but I'm not sure if you knew it or not, but last year Roger was the guy, I see him now. He had pink hair, painted toenails, wearing a dress to raise money. This year he stepped into the XWA arena and battled Ryan Heath, with all proceeds going to the Sprint. And Roger even got the victory with a little help from Tinsel the Clown. Yes, you didn't mishear me, Tinsel the Clown, the guy from the market. It was quite a night. I'd like to thank Roger and Ryan Heath and the XWA group, and all the money from that was donated to the cause as well. As well as the people I singled out, everyone here today in orange shirt should be thanked for what they've done. Make sure you have the time to meet them and say thanks. My friends and family have done so much. I don't even know how to thank you for everything you do. You give me the strength to do this. Especially my wife, Angela. Who was, of course, smart enough to wear sunglasses so I couldn't see her cry, but everybody can see me cry. My son Jack said I need to mention him, so I guess I just did. Jack and Lily were 2 kid additions to the committee, and I'm truly blessed to have gotten a chance to meet them. Couldn't ask for a better boy and a girl. Good looking kids too, eh? That's from my unbiased father's eyes, of course. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank the Hugh John Fleming Forestry Complex for year after year making this such a great event. And of course, our sponsors to silent auction items as well as corporate donations. And of course, most of all, I guess, besides all of you today, our gracious MC here today, Freddie Mac from 105.3 The Fox.
Yeah!
If you look up professional in the dictionary, there's Freddie Mac standing there at this brain, I'm pretty sure. I'd also like to thank all the team captains who took the extra effort to create a team, recruit members, and raise money. There are a lot of new teams this year, and I thank you for your efforts. For those who've had teams here before, it's great to see you back. I want everyone to have a great event. Try to meet everyone you can. Sign the memory wall, share your stories, honor those we have lost, and support those that still fight. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. You make me cry now. All the way from London, Ontario, the Brain Tumor Foundation of Canada, their head office there, they made a special trip here to Fredericton for this very sprint. I'd like to welcome, from the Brain Tumor Foundation of Canada, Jean King and Marianne Lee to say a few words.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Marianne. I bring greetings from London. We have similar weather today. It's great. Thanks. First thing I have to say is for those people who didn't get a t-shirt when you registered, if you go back to the registration table later, you can get a bandana. We brought extras. We don't want anyone to go home without anything. You like that? Okay. On behalf of the 27 Canadians who every day are diagnosed with brain tumor, I want to thank you for supporting the Fredericton Spring Sprints. You're part of a nationwide movement today that's transforming the future for brain tumor patients and their families. The funds raised today help to go into critical research into the cause and cure for brain tumors. It also means ensuring that the 55,000 Canadians living with brain tumors have important support and information programs. Each of you are helping to put a face and a voice behind brain tumors. You're all here for some reason. In some cases in support of one person, in some cases in support of many, but your voice is growing stronger and stronger. Thank you. Today you are joined by thousands of other people, across Canada who are taking part in the 20 spring sprints and the virtual run. Each of them are bringing hope. This weekend we are walking with people from Edmonton, Montreal, Ottawa, and Winnipeg. If you're on Twitter, you can help the voice of patients and families go even further by using the hashtag for the event, #SpringSprint. Today we are honored to be joined by the many brain tumor survivors. You will recognize them by their blue shirts. Please join me in acknowledging them in their strength. With your fundraising, you're helping to change the future of brain tumor research and patient care. Patients and families benefit from information, education, and support. Hope is found through funding the research critical. I'm on the research committee, and just this spring, we have granted 5 studentships to university students who are either pursuing a degree in medicine or sciences. From the University of Moncton, we have Julie Poitras, who will be working with Dr. Moran, who was given a research grant by the Foundation in 2011 to study glioblastomas. Also this spring we granted 4 research grants totaling almost $100,000 to researchers across the country. Over the years we've granted over $3 million, and we're able to do this through events like this. The research committee is also pursuing a registry project, and you may hear about that. We want to make sure that every person in Canada who has a brain tumor is counted. Right now we rely on U.S. information. We want our own information because this has an impact on further research, on healthcare funding, and ensuring that all patients across the country have equal access to drugs and therapy. Thank you very much, and I'll now hand it off to Jean King.
Thanks, Marianne. I'm a volunteer board member located in Halifax, and it's a pleasure. I think this is my 3rd spring sprint, and I'm so happy. Closer? Okay.
Much closer.
much closer. I'm going to be eating it. Very happy to be here for the third spring sprint. As Marianne mentioned about all the things that the Brain Tumor Foundation is doing through the funds that are raised at events like this, these events could not happen without the work of people like Dave D'Entremont and his committee. And I want to take the next few minutes to honor the work that he and his committee have done over the last 10 years. It's amazing. I think he holds a record in terms of the longest spring sprint coordinator, and the fabulous work that he's done, not only in raising the funds, but raising awareness and raising the spirit and bringing us together. So Dave, I want you to step forward. But just to, and if we weren't already standing, we would stand up and give you a standing ovation for all the work that you've done. Thank you so much to you and your team. And thank you to all the volunteers and celebration of our survivors and honoring those who have gone. Have a great sprint.
Thank you, Jean and Marianne. There we go. Got a little more volume going on. Now our next speaker is our guest speaker for the 2013 Spring Sprint. I'd like to welcome up to the microphone Beverly Stymiest.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to introduce myself, and you're all going to respond back to me. Hi, Beverly. Okay. Hi, my name is Beverly, and I had a brain tumor. That's what I thought the Brain Tumor Foundation meetings were going to be like, but thankfully they're not. I was reluctant to go to the meetings in the beginning since I wasn't ready to share my story, but that didn't stop my parents from going. For almost 2 years, my parents went to the meetings without me and talked about their daughter. This led the group to believe that my parents only came because they had nothing better to do on Tuesday nights. When I was asked to speak to you all today, my initial response was no. But I'm no longer hesitant to share my story, so if you don't mind, I'd like to do that right now. It all started 5 years ago on a rainy Sunday morning as I was driving to work. I wasn't particularly looking forward to going to work this day, but I had no idea what the day had in store for me. Just 2 minutes from home, I started to lose feeling on the left side of my body. I pulled over to the side of the road. I found my phone, I hit talk, and when someone answered, I was able to tell them where I was, and then I had a seizure. When I came to, the truck had rolled into the ditch, and the emergency responders had arrived. I was told by the paramedic that I was fine and good to go home. However, that wasn't good enough or an answer as to why I had just taken a seizure. So the next morning, I was at the hospital for a CAT scan. 2 days later, I'm in St. John meeting with my brain surgeon, Dr. Al-Shazi. I was diagnosed with a glioblastoma tumor. For those of you who don't know the details, I'll give you the same advice my surgeon gave me. Don't Google it because it's as bad as it says. The next worst thing I could hear after being told that I had a tumor was that they were going to shave half of my head. As a 21-year-old female, this news was almost worse than hearing I had a tumor. I am forever in debt to Dr. Kira Harar. She was interning at the neurosurgery department at the time of my surgery. She was able to convince my surgeon that they only needed to shave my incision line, which left me with nearly a full head of hair. In the days pre-surgery, I was in a drug-induced bubble that left me with not a care in the world. Thinking back that this was a good thing. At no point did the fact that I could die ever cross my mind. I always said that my family could have used the drugs as much as I did. My job was easy. I slept through the whole thing. But theirs, on the other hand, was much harder. Waiting. Knowing all the details of what I was going to go through that day, and without the assistance of medication, must have been agonizing. The surgery ended up being around 12 hours. When Dr. Al-Shazi got into the surgery, he realized that my tumor was wrapped around 7 major blood vessels. But like I said, my job was easy. I didn't know the difference. One of the first things I remember after waking up was that I was still having mini seizures. I was scared to death that the surgery hadn't worked, but it turned out to be the swelling from surgery that was causing them. The other thing I remember is how thirsty I was. I kept asking my nurse Jane for water, which she would sneak me when no one was looking. When Jane went to get my parents, they were wondering if I was awake and talking. She answered, "Talking? She hasn't stopped talking since she woke up." At that point, they knew I was just fine. The days post-surgery were equally as good as the days pre-surgery. I was in the ICU for 3 days, and in that time, I ate bad food, refused to use the bedpan, played tricks on the nurses, and asked daily if Mark Wahlberg was here to see me. I also made friends with the staff. Doug would wear my tiara and tell me stories about things he and his girlfriend would do. It put me to sleep every night. The first morning, I told my mom about the friend that I had made the night before. She had yet to see any male nurses working, so she just assumed that my friend was drug-induced. On my last day in the hospital, Doug stopped in to say goodbye, and everyone got to see that in fact he was real. After being home and healing for a little more than a month, it was time to head back to St. John and start radiation and chemo. I went through 6 weeks of extensive radiation. I've had the maximum amount that the body can withstand, which isn't exactly the most comforting thought. It wasn't until radiation that any of this journey started to feel real. Up until this point, everything had been fine. Surgery went smoothly, and I didn't have any pain during recovery. It was the day I brushed my hair, and it all started falling out. In the beginning, it was only noticeable to me, but the evidence became more apparent in the hairbrush. I lost all of the underlayer of my hair on the right side, and that's when it really hit me. I was a cancer patient. Over the winter, the wind was not my friend. I hated when my bald was showing, and my hair took what seemed like forever to grow back. I was kept on Timidol for the next 3 years as a precaution. My oncologist, Dr. Ryman, had never seen a glioblastoma in someone my age, let alone a female, at 21. This type of tumor is common in older men and is recurring. He figured with the age on my side, we'd stay on chemo and make sure to keep the tumor at bay. As of my last MRI in February, it has done just that. I'm all clear. I drive past the place where it all began daily. Most days I barely even notice, but then there are other days that this whole experience feels so surreal. I know that this is my story, and I'm so thankful to still be here telling it, but it feels like a lifetime ago. Almost like it couldn't have possibly been real, like I was just watching it all happen. On Thursday, I celebrated my 26th birthday. I'm not crazy about the number, but it's not too bad for being told I had 9 to 12 months to live nearly 5 years ago. I would like to take this chance to thank my parents for everything. We've been through so much, and I couldn't have made it without you. I know I'm a pain in the ass most of the time, but just think of how boring your lives would be if I wasn't. And thank you to everyone for coming out today. We've all been brought together with the same goal in mind, and your hard work is making a difference. If you don't believe me, look around at all the others in blue shirts. Your fundraising efforts and support have gotten us to where we all are today. To all the survivors out there, I came across a quote that I think that we should all think about more often. Success isn't how far you got, but the distance you've traveled from where you started. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Beverly. And now we're going to get the warm-up going here in just a bit. We'll get underway, but we have a couple of more speakers here, and that includes the Premier of our province. Premier Allward is here to support the Brain Tumor Foundation.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. What an incredible event, and I don't know how you ever follow what Beverly just had to say. know, New Brunswick is a phenomenal place. And when I drove up today and I looked at the vehicles, it blew me away with how the number of people who would come out. When you're here, you completely understand why. It very much is about individuals and the people in the blue shirts. As much as the people in the blue shirts, it's also very much about family and the impact that this insidious disease has on people. But you know what is important about the blue shirts? It is survivors, and it is hope for the future. And by people coming together today, community supporting families, families supporting individuals, we make a real difference for the future. And you know, it is about innovation, it is about research and development, and your dollars are making a real difference for individuals and families. So congratulations to each and every one of you for being involved. It's a phenomenal experience to see so many people come together, united under one cause, and New Brunswick is a phenomenal place, and people in New Brunswick do phenomenal things. So congratulations to each and every one of you.
Thank you, Premier Allward. And now representing the city of Fredericton, and as you'll notice, a blue shirt survivor himself, Councillor David Kelly.
Thank you very much, Fred. I think a round of applause again for this gentleman, because you know what, Fred? You're here every year, and you know what? You are one of the main reasons why I actually will come up to a microphone, because I'm trying to follow somebody that's not quite as good as me. Fred McCausland, everybody! Premier Allward, thank you very, very much for being here today, not to mention your donation to me for the Breakthrough Free Sprint. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of His Worship Mayor Brad Woodside and all my City Council colleagues, Mayor Woodside is out of the province this weekend. He's not able to be here. So on behalf of all my colleagues, I want to thank each and every one of you. And on behalf of myself and my family, of course, Kim, my wife, my daughter Mallory, and of course my sister Heather, and our friends Andrew Smith and his family are here. You folks are the big reason why this is such a major success. David, you have a major impact on all of us for different reasons, but you know what? Because of you folks that are all here today, you are just showing us and proving to us that we will find a cure for brain tumor. Thank you all for being here.
I want to give a shout out to my buddy Roger Jean, who was in the foxhole last week and got an office chair thrown on his head. Did a great job raising funds last week with the XWA. All right, now while Lisa's getting set up for our physical warm-up, before we go for our walk, we do have a special photog here. If we could get, this is the 10th year, right? We want to get a very special photo. If everybody who's spread out could just squeeze in, because we're going to take it from the doors out this way, and we're going to get the three Daves to stand right here, and Beverly as well, too, I think would be a nice touch to the picture as well. So Dave, and Beverly, they're going to stand up here. And you guys, if you could just squeeze in here, Lisa's going to get set up, and we'll start the physical warm-up in just a second. Rick Jenkins, where are you, Rick? Okay, once we get going, the walkers will follow Rick. The runners will follow Mike Pope. Mike? Oh, everybody's following you, Rick? All right, I'll just throw this out then. All right, so get ready for the photo. Lisa will take over. Have a great warm-up and have a great spring sprint. Brain Tumor Foundation raising tons of money. Good on you all. It's your day. Have fun.